Damon Martin, MMA Fighting, here with one of the top coaches in the sport, and he is in deep preparation right now, getting ready for the heavyweight title unification bout at UFC 270. Ciryl Gane's head coach, Nasruddin Imavov's head coach, the great Fernand Lopez. Fernand, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing, my friend?
I am so good. Thank you so much for joining me. I know how busy you are right now. Big fights all the way around for your team. How is everything in France right now?
Situation is kind of weird a little bit because the pandemic is coming back with that new version, but the government is pushing people to get vaccinated, and it's not easy. But that's the situation. But everything is okay. I mean, like for now, there's not any lockdown. There's not any complication. I have an event called RS. They still, I have this event scheduled for February 3rd, and I thought that they're going to close the door for the show, but they said no, they limited to 2,000 people in the venue. So at least the show will be open. So that's the situation mainly in Paris.
Yeah. How is it when you have, because again, you have so many things going on with, you mentioned the show, you got a lot of teammates, but you also, of course, have the big fight coming up in just a couple of weeks in Vegas. Like, how do you spread yourself so thin? Because I imagine you're like one of the busiest guys because you got a million things going on, including the big title fight.
Well, how to do that is just to people. It's about people. Everything in the life is about people. When you find people that you can trust, you just go with them, and they make life easy for you. You make life easy for them. So I have very competent people working with me in all the aspects. I have 22 coaches working with me in MMA Factory. I have 12 guys working with me on management. I have one of the biggest company in France, the leader in France on the MMA event. So yeah, it's not about me, it's about people. It's how do I get surrounded?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Fernand, let me start by asking about, of course, the big fight coming up, UFC 270, Ciryl Gane taking on Francis Ngannou. I'm not going to ask you to give away any secrets, of course, but how is training camp going? I imagine at this point starting to kind of wind down those last days of training camp, but how is everything going with getting Ciryl ready for this big fight?
Smoothly. Everything is going smoothly. We are now in the phase of to bring down a little bit the all amount of training that we put on Ciryl. He went through a lot about having that cycle of strength, conditioning, very heavy. And then went through a very deep mode of sparring with a bunch of people on him, and so now we're going kind of light on that, so he can recover a little bit and collect the benefit on all that work that he put on.
Yeah, absolutely. You've been with Ciryl since the very beginning, and we kind of forget he is still a very young guy in terms of his career. He's still got a lot of room to grow. How much have you seen of that just in these last few fights, the improvements, the evolution of his game, even because, again, he's still such a young guy. He's a champion, and he's about to have a chance to become the undisputed champion, but he's still learning. I mean, how amazed are you at the growth you've seen out of this guy just in the last, let's say, year?
Every day is kind of, I'm kind of impressed, and that makes my job even easier. Like, as a coach, is when your duty become funny, because it's so funny to see how it can pick things and just make that work. Like this morning, I show him a new things, a new trick that just pops up. Like we was working on something, and I just give him the one thing that he could have done at this position and he just executed, and 5 minutes later, he's the master. I mean, he's the master of that move, and that's kind of funny. That's easy for me, and I'm saying going every day. I think every time that you guys knows already that every time that you see Ciryl Gane, the game would be a little bit different because it will bring something a little bit different every time. So yeah, I'm amazed. I don't know where is the ceiling for him. I don't know where is the end of the improvement. I think this fight going to pull out of the his best version because he's facing someone who is the best, the best in the world. So I think I'm so excited to see when the beast modes come out of Ciryl.
Yeah. So much has been said, and we talked about this when we spoke last after Cyryl's big win over Derek Lewis, where he won the championship. We knew that it was coming up. It was going to be the fight with Francis. Now we're a matter of weeks away. Of course, everyone knows the story. You trained Francis for so many years. You worked with him and Ciryl very early in Cyryl's, career before Francis left. Is it weird or is it odd? I don't know. How is it for you as a coach? Coaching to fight a guy that you brought up, that you trained, that you kind of got to this level. I mean, I don't know. It's got to be a little weird, right?
A little bit, yes. I mean, it's not often that you're facing someone that you did train deeply. Like that happened already with me at small stage. This is big thing. This is the big level of fighting ever. And having a guy that I spent 5 years with, sleeping with the same room sometime in some fight week, traveling the same flight, sitting by his side, interpreting for him when he didn't speak English, even now that his English is better than mine. And spend all this time with the same person is not something usual. So yeah, it's kind of weird to have him in front of me, to have to prepare against him, to have to but again, it's part of the job. This almost 4 years that I knew that this will happen. Like I knew that as soon as Ciryl Gane signed in my gym, I knew that this would happen. So I have time to prepare for this very long time ago, and it's about processing. So I have process that I'm doing with all my fighters. I have this opponent. I will check my video, check about Ciryl video, check if there's any stone that I didn't turn, and then go back, check all Francis' videos, even I know how he's fighting. I need to materialize that, seeing how he's doing, how he's moving, try to pick up what is new on his game, try to, so I just have that process that I'm doing. I have my PDF that I'm writing down everything, the strength, the weakness, the opportunities, everything, and then I'm going for the process and I'm doing my job. That's it. I think the fight day I will be with a mix of emotional, like a little bit proud of what my gym and my people made, having these two big names on the top of that mountain. I will be a little bit scared because of my guy that I'm in love, which is Ciryl, and that I think he deserves. He's working a lot, so I know that he's confident. I am confident, but you never enough confidence when you go against Francis Ngannou. You need to remember and know that he's a monster and he can just rip you apart with a punch. So you need to keep that in mind. So I think there will be a mix of pride, a mix of, a mix of a little bit emotional because of, a mix of joy, a mix of sadness because of falling down. of our relationship. So yeah, I guess that would be something like that. But what I'm trying to do is just to be focused on my job, do my duty, have my process, have my protocol, have that going on, and that's it.
Yeah. I've heard this from fighters who are fighting former teammates or going against former teammates. They can't, it can get weird because you know them so well. You got to be careful not to, overcompensate. Think, well, I know this guy so well, I know how to beat him. And at the same time, you got to get yourself ready, worry about yourself. How is that for you as a coach, Fernand? Because Francis. I mean, I'm not saying he hasn't improved and hasn't changed some things over the years, but you know him so well. You know Ciryl so well. You know these guys both so well. How, without giving away any secrets, like, do you have to take a step back a little bit and like try to forget what you know about Francis? Can you use what you know about Francis? Like, how do you manage that? Because again, these are two guys you spent a lot of time with. It's not like you were with Francis for one fight. You spent years with him.
Yes. I spent I spent more than 14 fights with Francis. That's a lot. I don't think that's a big deal because I know Francis, but he know me also. I mean, like you journalists keep saying that I know Francis, but Francis come out and said, this is 3 years that we didn't meet, so I don't know anything about him. But the same guy is saying that he knows me. He said, I know Fernand Lopez. I know how he's thinking. I know his game plan. I know everything about him, but he do not know anything about me, which is kind of weird. I don't know how I can analyze that. I don't think that's possible. I think if I know Francis, he knows me. Makes sense for me. And I think he will try to profiling what I'm thinking and try to think on the world, my mindset. I don't know. I'm not sure of his mindset because of the lack of 3 years of knowledge on him. But what I do know is that I know his pattern. I know his move. I know his body. I know what his body allow him to do and what his body do not allow him to do. There's things that you will not expect from Francis. He will not do that. No matter what you teach him, you will just interfere on his way, but he cannot improve on that side because of his body built the way that he built, and he cannot do some of stuff. So, yeah, but again, I don't count of that, of the fact that I know him. I just know that I have the match that I will try to process and find the best way to do not go in, to do not let him fight in the way that the time that he want to fight. And my colleague in front of me, which is Eric Nixit or Dewey Cooper, all the team that I have a lot of respect for them. They are good coaches. They will do the same thing in the other side. They will try to find a way that my guy, Ciryl Gane, do not express himself. So that's what we're trying to do right now. So I don't really think that is an advantage for me. I do think that even though Francis is trying to say that I do not know anything about him, that's bullshit. He knows that we spend so many time, and I can tell when he's scared, and I can tell when he's afraid. I know him very well. I've been giving him hair when he was laid down after the fight with Stipe. I've been helping him mentally when he was very down. So I know what is look when he's down, and I know what bring him down. But again, when we get there on January 22, I will not be inside of the cage. There's two people there. There will be Ciryl Gane against Francis Ngannou inside. I will be outside with my dear colleague, Eric Nixit. I will be the other side of the cage, and we will be just giving advice. They will meet inside, and at that point, they will each other discover how good they did improve in each side. So, I mean, talking is useless at this point. We are 3 weeks to go, and okay, let's just go.
Yeah. You know, you're going to answer some version of this question probably 100 times between now and the fight, Fernand, and that is, you know, because Francis and Ciryl did train together, you know, how were those sessions? How did they train together? And I know from speaking to you previously that, you know, Ciryl was still very, very young in his career when he was actually, you know, training with Francis. They didn't really train together at the point where we're at now with Ciryl Gane being, you know, one of the best heavyweights in the sport. You know, they were, you know, and they trained together. They weren't, you know, incredibly close teammates. They weren't together for, you know, 10 years or anything crazy like that. But I'm sure you saw, or maybe you saw the story that came out about the footage that was released and Francis saying it was manipulated to make, you know, Ciryl look good. Now, me personally, training footage isn't any. I mean, they're not going out there trying to knock each other out in sparring, and that it's training footage to me never really means much of anything. It's training. I mean, that's not fighting. We understand that. Did you laugh at that, or did you kind of like kind of roll your eyes at like the idea that you manipulated footage? Like, it's training footage, and it's also like 4 years ago.
I roll my eyes, like you said, because make no sense. Okay, let's put it this way. Let's take the worst case scenario. I didn't manipulate the food, or the UFC didn't manipulate the footage. Is it the wrong footage? Is it done something wrong? I mean, why are you concerned about that footage anyway? It's the fucking footage. You are not having the 4 Oz gloves. You are not trying to knock Ciryl Gane down. We all know. I recognize his power, right? Ciryl Gane recognizes his power. The whole world recognizes his power. They can see in the video that Francis didn't use the full power to knock Ciryl Gane down, right? So where is the manipulation? I mean, like, I don't know what's going on with Francis this time with the complotist mindset. Like, well, the UFC, they set me up and they have us go this way so they can film and have this movie. That's bullshit. We end up randomly in that corridor, and we end up there because we was running to cash up the fight of Pereira, who was fighting. To be honest, we choose to go there. There's no one who put us there. And all the guests that was coming went through us. Like, I have a bunch of people, guests, superstar, coming just in front of us. Usman go back through us. And who else? Most of the champion just went to this same place. There's not the place that they set me up. There's not they manipulate the video. What did they manipulate the video? It's not you on the video. Did they make you slow in the video and they make Ciryl faster in the video? I mean, did they make you miss your punch and then they bring the punch of Ciryl touching you? How they manipulate the video? Okay, what you want to say is that there's some part of video that Ciryl was in danger. Okay, then speak. Come up and speak. You want me to tell you the truth? I have I have the full video of this thing. I didn't want to do that because the fighter trusts me and asked the ESPN at some point asked the video so they can show that video. They see it. Okay, when you have a chance to talk with Francis Ngannou, ask him this. Did you, yes or no, bend the knee on that video? You want me to tell you the truth on the video? The video end up Francis Ngannou sit down in the corner of the gym because he eat the knee of Ciryl Gane in the liver, knee on the body. He sat down. He was fucking exhausted, tired, took the knee, sit down. Ciryl went to him, brother, come up, let's go, come up, let's keep going, let's keep training. That's what happened in the end of the video. Oh, if you think that there's something that special that you did in the video, please come up, talk. And if you allow me, and that people, they would not say that, oh, who is this kind of coach who is exposed his internal video on the internet? I would show the video. You just hit a fucking knee of the kid coming. He was in the gym like a couple months, and you hit the knee in the liver. You sat down, and you're out there saying he knows. What the fuck he knows? What the fuck are you talking about? Well, he knows what? I mean, come up, speak up. What are you talking about? So again, training is bullshit. Francis is a killer. Francis will knock everyone out. He's knocking people out, no doubt. I'm the first to say that. I'm the first to admit that this is Francis. He's the maximum of power that you can have in a hand. But again, that's not a fight. A fight is not only about one punch. We have been facing people saying, I just need one. And we know the result. It's not about just saying, I need one. Because to bring an old man sipping muting down, you need more than one. I mean, clean shot, he give to Sipe probably 8 clean shots, and Sipe didn't go down. I mean, he eventually finished Sipe in the second round after probably 10 shots. So we know that Francis is a killer, but please stop with the complotist mindset. There's no one setting up, try to make you look bad. There's no one manipulate the video. This is your video. If it's not you, just speak up. Oh, that's not me. Oh, you know what? This speed, that's not me. That wasn't me going to this speed. Or say, okay, you know what? At some point, I took him down. Or at some point, I don't know, I just knocked him down in the training. Did you? No. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of, I don't really know where it's going. I mean, people, they are like, oh, there's a news coming up. Francis said he got manipulated. On what? What are you saying? I mean, how did they manipulate you? Is it your tape? Yes. Is it you? Is it the real speed? Yes. Is it you moving? Yes. So how them? Oh, the part that you was putting Ciryl in danger. Okay, can you speak up what there was? I mean, did you shock him? Did you submit him? Did you knock him out? What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know. I'm not sure to understand where it's going exactly. We are witnessing since a couple of times Francis Ngannou going on of the UFC don't like me. They want to do this to me. They are doing this. The MMA Factory, Fernand Lopez, they are doing this to me. Come on, stop with that. I mean, how many champions do you have there? I mean, so they are not complaining. You see, Usman Kamaru is good with the UFC. I mean, like, he's good of the negotiation. Ali is one of the best, if not the best, in the UFC as a manager. He's not fighting with Dana White. Israel Adesanya is not fighting with Dana White. I mean, Khabib not fighting with Dana White. I mean, they have the negotiation, but they finally come out on something good. I mean, like even Conor, he would say, oh, I need some shares or stock option in the UFC. Then I would say, oh, no, come on, are you crazy? No way. I will just give you the place so you can put your whiskey, proper whatever, in the cage. And then they have a deal. There's not just like, oh, they want to kill me. Oh, they are complotists. They don't want me to be brilliant. What the fuck are you talking about, man? So I don't really get it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally understand. And as we said, training is not fighting. We all understand that. It's training. To that point, you've worked with a lot of talented people over the years, and this is, let me be clear, I'm not saying this as a knock on Francis. I'm saying this as a compliment to Ciryl Gane. What we've seen Ciryl do, especially what we saw him do in that Derek Lewis fight, the movement, the speed, the power, the combination of all the things that he is. Would you say that Ciryl Gane is just, you know, the most talented guy you've had the chance to work with at this level, meaning heavyweights? Because we know heavyweights are a different breed. You know, heavyweights, we typically don't see heavyweights move like Ciryl Gane that can also hit like Ciryl Gane. He is a special, one of a kind athlete, in my opinion.
Absolutely yes. I mean, absolutely yes. I'm glad there's not me saying that. I'm glad that some of analysts like you, like I don't know, Luke Thomas, I don't know, DC, I would say John Anik, I don't know, Ariel Alwani, they're saying that he's the future. I mean, if I was saying that, that would look like, oh, he tried to harp his guy. Okay. They think that I'm not the only one thinking that he especially have something good on him. So again, that something that can help Francis to understand that we don't need to manipulate something to make Ciryl look good. We do not need, I mean, according to the fight, when they fight, Francis is efficient, taking people out 30 seconds, very efficient, but it's rough. I mean, it's rough. I mean, it's not fine technique. It's not, you know, and you just have to admit that. It's not me trying to show that you're not good and the other guy is good. No. The reality is that the kid have something different. And you have to admit it and say, whoa, this is next level. I saw the interview where Francis was kind of saying to DC Cormier, you're not my friend because you said that Ciryl was the future and I'm the future. It's not Ciryl the future. No, bro. You are a new version of heavyweight, but who become kind of irrelevant when you bring the techniques that Ciryl is putting up. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you cannot KO Ciryl. You still can KO him. But the reality is that you need to understand that you can throw a kick, a low kick properly. You can throw a high kick properly. You can push the high kick. You cannot throw a decent high kick. That's what we're talking about. So you can box properly. If they take out the UFC, if they take out the thriller UFC, who make you champ and then give you the opportunity to go to the boxing, if they take out that UFC, your boxing is irrelevant. You will not have the license to box even in amateur. You don't have the level of that. But you're still a killer and you can just kill someone with one punch. That's something that no one can take from you. And that's it. I mean, I'm just trying to be objective here and say things. For me, Ciryl is far the best athlete that I ever have to coach. I mean, I've been coaching tons of guys. Having someone that understands the business industry, the fight that way, you don't have a lot of people that can understand the fight and then understand the life, which choices to make, and then understand the fight game. Like, oh, if I become a champion, I'm still the champion under the umbrella on this company. And this company, they need me, that's true, but I fucking need them. They build me. If they take Ciryl out of the context of UFC and they bring him out of the UFC and he tried to sell a pay-per-view, I'm not sure that he's going to sell 20,000 pay-per-view. But the same Ciryl inside the UFC can sell 500 pay-per-view. Because of that, you need to be smart or understand that the way you talk with them, you have the good balance to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. As you notice, I don't like to talk a lot about, game planning, in terms of strategy with this fight, but I love this matchup in so many different ways. I think it is going to be a tremendous fight. And I'm a big, I think we've had this conversation before. I'm a big believer in Ciryl Gane. I think the guy is so talented. I'm not sure we've ever seen a heavyweight quite like him. And that makes this a really intriguing fight. And I'm sure, again, you mentioned it's a mix of emotions. There's a lot going into this, but I just on a, take all the other stuff out of it. This is such an amazing fight because I think we really are seeing the two best heavyweights in the world, about to meet, about to clash in the center of that octagon. And we got to be honest, it's rare. We don't always get to see that. This is a special fight.
Absolutely. How to say, if we take everything out and we just speak about sport, this might be one of the best fights we ever have in the heavyweight division. Like, honestly, as a person, I'm jealous to the people that will be just watching the fight. I hope I can have my popcorn, sit there and just watch the fight, enjoy the process, enjoy the fight, because technically there will be so many things going on. I mean, that will not be easy for Ciryl to display all the techniques that he have, all the motion that he have with Francis Furious. That will not be easy for Francis to learn what he's trying to learn or to take Ciryl down like he's trying to do. That will not be easy. So even though I know approximately how things can go, man, it's not easy to, I'm curious to sit down and just watch the fight and see how this goes. There's a big fight. This is, it's a good fight. It's a fucking good fight.
Yeah, it's a great fight. And, I know there's so much emotion, everything, again, going to go into this, and we all understand why. But if everything goes well on January 22nd, Ciryl Gane becomes, the undisputed heavyweight champion. I'm just so excited for this kid's future. I think about, again, you're absolutely not going to think about this right now, Fernand, but Ciryl against Stipe is a fun fight. Ciryl against John Jones might be one of my dream fights right now. I'm not even going to lie to you, because the way that Ciryl approaches a fight is something that John Jones has never seen before. So I'm just so excited for the future for this kid. I'm such a big believer in him, and I think this is a tremendous matchup. And again, I just can't wait to see it. Real quick before I get you out of here, I mentioned you're so busy and you have so many other things going on. You mentioned the show coming up in February. One other guy on your roster I want to talk about real quick is Nasruddin Imavov, who's coming off a huge win over Edmund Shabazi in his last fight. Got in the rankings. I think he's number 12 in the UFC right now. A lot of talk about, guys coming to the UFC. Alex Pereira coming in, of course, has the win over Israel Adesanya in kickboxing, all those kind of things. But I'm such a fan of Imavov. I think that kid, again, kind of like with Ciryl, I think he has so much of a bright future ahead of him. I'm really excited to see what he does next.
Me too. Me too. I mean, the kid shows up in my gym a couple of years ago. I mean, that was actually 5 years ago. He was still a young kid and 18, I think, or 19 some. And he was just 1-1, one win, one loss. And when I'm sitting down and look behind and see what we did with that kid, I'm impressed. I mean, to be honest with you, the breakout of the year for me is Nassourdine Imavov. I mean, not because it's from my gym, but because I really believe that coming from where I mean, the guy is from the south of France, traveled, went to Paris with just a bag, and then sat on the gym train. I found him a room just close to the gym with his brother, and then live in the gym all day long. I mean, the first to come, the last to go, and I'm very proud of him. I think 2022 going to be surprising for people. I don't want to hype him too much. I don't want to jinx him, but I think he will be there in the throne at some point. I mean, before the end of 2022, if everything goes well, they might see him challenging the champ at some point, no matter who is the champ. Man, you need to see him training. Oh God, it's good. It's damn good.
I saw a post. I think it was when he had his win over Edmund Shabazz, and I saw Ciryl posted. I think it was on your Instagram. He said the future. He knows. Ciryl knows that kid's the future.
Yeah, it's right. The kid is the future. He's so young and he dedicated all his life on that. He do not do anything else. When I say anything, I'm fucking serious. He do not play even football, even soccer. He do not do anything else than fighting. He bred fighting. He's the future. I mean, again, you know how this sport is. You can just come and just disappear one day because you don't know. I mean, Edmond Shabazian was the next thing, right? And then the next day, there's new young guy come and he's the next thing. So again, I'm very prudent, taking a lot of cautious to say this, but he is easily for me the guy who will shock the world in 2022.
I love it. Fernand, before I let you go, I want to ask, when are you guys traveling over to the States? Will you get here early? Will you get here on fight week? When will you travel over to Vegas?
January 12th.
Or to California, excuse me.
Yeah, January 12th.
Okay. So you have a little bit of time to acclimate to the time difference and everything.
Yeah, so we have time to adapt, to enjoy the process again. We need to get there earlier and just enjoy the California weather and try to with the storm.
Yeah, there's a famous saying here in the States. You might know it. After a team would win a big game, usually the Super Bowl, the football Super Bowl here in the States, they would say, what are you doing next? They say, I'm going to go to Disneyland. You're going to be in Anaheim afterwards. Champion Ciryl Gane walk around the title. You guys going to go to Disneyland? I mean, come on, you got to, right? Like right after.
They will go. I mean, they are young. They're pretty young. They can do that. I'm an old man. Yeah. I mean, like, I will just stick in my room, open the computer, walk a little bit, and that's pretty much.
Well, Fernand, it is always a pleasure and an honor to speak with you. Have a great rest of the training camp with you and Ciryl. Cannot wait to see the fight on January 22nd. As you can probably tell, I'm super excited for this one. So thank you so much for taking the time. Safe training camp, safe travels to the States, and look forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Pleasure, my man. pleasure. And that's very nice from you to host me and talk to you soon.